Hi everyone. This time we will learn how to do KNX programming using ETS5 in this training. The goal of this task is to learn how to use ETS5, a KNX program, and to learn the KNX programming method through simulation. Let us have a look at the key points of this task. First, be familiar with the basic usage of ETS5. Second, use KNX Virtual to use virtual simulation. Third, familiarize yourself with how to test with actual KNX equipment. Please double-check preparations in detail and tools to be ready for the task. Prepare a laptop with a LAN port configured. Download and install the ETS5 software. Let us have a look at the precautions to perform the task in this training. Files may not be saved during program work, so they should be saved from time to time. Select and add only the language used when adding an ETS5 catalog. In ETS5, the title of the corresponding function must be attached to make it easier to modify in the future. Bus communications, communication method setting should always be checked before program writing. Have a look at what we are going to do in this training. Now let us start KNX ETS5 programming. First, create a project to start programming. The name of the project should be set according to your project. ETS5 is an automation program for saving the energy of a building. Therefore, it can be set by the unit of the corresponding building. As shown on the screen, add a building under the project. Next, configure the location of each floor inside the building. Lastly, configure the rooms on each floor. After building, floor and room configuration, you need to configure KNX equipment at each location. For the equipment configuration, we will configure KNX equipment, which was provided in 2017 WorldSkills. First, add ABB's switch actuator. The model name is SA/S8.16.2.1. Search for the model name and double-click the appropriate equipment to add it to the top automatically. Next, add a dimming actuator. The model name is UD/S2.300.2. Likewise, double-click after checking the model to add it to the top. Next, add a shutter actuator. The model name is JRA/S2.230.2.1. Likewise, double-click and add it. Next, we will add 4 KNX switches. Select and add the switch shown on the screen. Totally, 4 units of KNX equipment have been added. Without the license, you can use 5 pieces of equipment for free, and you can use them up to 20 pieces when you have the license. Let's now work on group address to realize the function. You can also configure the main group and middle group in the group address. A group is created based on the counts on the left. After you finish creating the group, you can also change the name of the group to suit your project. Mark function 1 to function 5 on the 5 groups according to the drawings. The drawings show the functions from function 1 to function 5 that must be configured. Each function needs to be realized using KNX equipment. Since marks are allocated for each unit of function, it can be a strategically good idea to configure only the functions that you are familiar with. The more functions are required in the drawing, the better you should organize the address to avoid confusion. Modify the name of the group and then create a group for the program in the middle group again. First, let us set up function 1. H1 should be turned on/off with the left bottom of rocker 1. If you click Highlight Changes at the top, the changed items will be highlighted. First, set the switch actuator to be automatically off when the communication with the channel is lost. Next, set the dimming actuator. Make sure that the 2 channels are set as individual to be controlled separately. Next, set the dimming actuator to be automatically off when the communication with the default setting is lost. Also, set the minimum brightness at the minimum to increase the dimming range. Set channel B just as channel A. Next, set the shutter actuator. Blinds and shutters have been replaced with lamps in the task, so disable the overflow function. Finally, set up 4 KNX switches for operating actuators. Since the switches are split left and right, change it to the 1 button, setting as described in the requirements on the drawings. S1.1 is left and S1.2 is the right signal. For operation, include S1.1 in the 0/0/1 group. Then, connect channel A of the switch actuator, which is a channel of H1, by including it in the group. Let's move on to function 2. Similarly, create a middle group. Change the setting of the right switch on rocker 2 to the toggle switch. Since the right switch is S1.2, put it in the group of function 2. Next, connect the channel B of H2 by putting it in the group. So, we're done with function 2. Similarly, create a group for function 3. Since function 3 also controls the left and right switches separately, rocker 2 should also be changed to one-button switch dimming. In the default setting, the left side is off and the right side is on, so change the left side to on and the right side to off. Change the left side to lighten and the right side to darken of the brightness adjustment at the bottom. Next, add a new group for setting the right side of the rocker 2. And put S2.1 switching into function 3 group. Next, connect the switching between channel A and channel B of the dimming actuator for L3 and L4. Next, add S2.1 dimming to the function 3 group to enable dimming control. Then, connect the dimming of L3 and L4 to function 3 to enable the dimming control. Next, let's set the shutter operator, which is part of function 4. Set the switch function of rocker 3 to 2-button blind and set the left side to rising and the right side to lowering. Enter the drive setup of channel A and set the time for raising and lowering to 3 seconds. Next, put separately the adjust and travel of S3.1 in different groups. In the group, connect the adjust of the switch and the slat of the shutter actuator and the travel of the switch and the move of the shutter actuator. Slat is a function of raising and lowering for a short time, and travel is a function of raising and lowering for a long time. Lastly, let us set up function 5. Next, change the left and right functions of the rocker 4 switch to one-button light scene. In order to implement the light scene function, set the number 1 scene on the left side of the rocker 4 and set the number 2 scene on the right side. When the left switch is pressed, the number 1 light scene is operated and the number 2 light scene is set to operate when the right switch is pressed. Since the light scene function has many channels, it will be easier to check if you change the name of the group. Next, let us activate the light scene function for each actuator. The light scene function can be activated by entering the function of each channel. Then, the light scene function can be set for each corresponding number. The left side of channel A of the switch actuator, which is H1, is set to on, and the right side is set to off. So set the number 1 scene to on and number 2 scene to off. Likewise, activate the light scene function of channel B. Since H2 is channel B and left is off and the right is on, set scene 1 to off and scene 2 to on. Next, put the light scene channels of channel A and channel B in the light scene 1 and light scene 2 groups. Now, let us activate the light scene function of the dimming actuator. Since the left side is 10% and the right side is 100% as per the function requirements, set the light scene 1 to 10% and set the light scene 2 to 100%. Set the dimming time to 0 because there is no requirement, but if there is a requirement, set the dimming time accordingly. Just as channel A, activate the light scene function of channel B. Since the left side is 100% and the right side is 10% as per the function description, set the light scene 1 to 100% and set the light scene 2 to 10%. There is no requirement for time, so set it to 0 seconds. When the setup is complete, include the light scene of channel A and channel B of the dimming actuator in the group. Finally, connect S4.1 on the left side to the light scene, one group, and connect S4.2 on the right side to the light scene, two group. That concludes KNX ETS5 programming. Please check again the key points of the task we've done in this training. So, we have learned about KNX programming. Thank you for all your hard work.